Yeah, so this build pretty much relies on Shadowcast and Frostdraw. The main idea behind this build is stacking up Shadow Gun, Shadow Vortex, and Ice Eruption with Round Spark, so you can like get a lot of damage in, and also maybe deal damage to multiple people. So this is the main combo. Use Ice Eruption, make sure you don't get cancelled. Shadow Vortex, then you just wait a bit, stall. Then once everyone gets sucked in, you just use your Shadow Gun. This will deal around 1 bar, maybe more or maybe less, depending on the person that you're fighting. But it will always deal a lot of damage. For your Shadow Gun, you're gonna need a lot of mantra modifiers. You're gonna want to make it as big as possible and upgrade it to level 5 so you can deal the most damage. For Shadow Vortex, you don't really need to upgrade it to level 5, but you will want to put 3 magnifying stones and 3 glass stones on it. You can also maybe go 2 glass stones and 2 magnifying stones, but you will always want to try and have as much range as possible. For my Ice Eruption, you will need a Round Spark on it. The gem shouldn't really matter. You don't really need to upgrade the mantra. Yeah, but those are the basic stuff that you need. When you're fighting someone and you just use the combo and your stuff is on cooldown, you can always just, you know, spam Illusory Servants and Shadow Gun. If you use Ice Eruption, you can also use Ice Fissure. I know you can just spam clones, spam Shadow Gun and put a lot of pressure on the enemy. One mantra that is underrated is Devouring Eye. Usually when you try to combo someone and use Ice Eruption, they will always try to escape using a mantra. So what you can do is you can just use Devouring Eye, Shadow Vortex, and you just wait for people to get sucked in, and you Shadow Gun. Devouring Eye is really good for people that will use mantras to get out of your combo. For this build, for what build you're gonna want to go, it would most likely be Gravity Field. This build is still somewhat like decent without Gravity Field, but if you have Gravity Field, you can pretty much become very annoying to fight. When your Gravity build is up, you can just spam Void Eye, Ice Fissure, Devouring Eye, and I'll just use Shadow Gun. You can pretty much spam all your mantras. These mantras here, Ice Skate, Iceberg, they're pretty much optional. Let's say you miss your Ice Eruption, right? And no one's inside it except you. You can always just use Iceberg and heal up. Yeah, this mantra called Void Realm is just Illusionary Realm. I just renamed it, you know, to make it look cool. What you can do is you can trap your enemy inside your Ice Eruption, and you can just use Illusionary Realm. When you're inside the Illusionary Realm, you can always just spam Clone and just like, you know, exit and go heal up while your enemy has to fight 2 NPCs at the same time. But yeah, these are pretty much the mantras. You don't have to use Devouring Eye, it's just optional. But the reason why I went Vision Shaper is because you can put a lot of pressure with your clones, especially with your big Shadow Gun. And my Shadow Hero Blade also synergizes really well with Ice Fissure, because you can pretty much make your crit go way further by sliding on ice. Dazing Finisher, a pretty nice talent. Since you're going Vision Shaper, you might as well just pick up Dazing Finisher and invest extra 5 points into Charisma. Dark Rift, it really kind of helps you. You know, when you do Ice Eruption and then you use your Shadow Vortex, and when you dodge a move, you can always just stall around. Orbital Ice, pretty good since your Ice Fissure will place a lot of ice around you, and you know, you get and you become extra tank here. Frozen Legs is pretty good if you trap your opponent with your Ice Eruption, Ice Fissure, because once they get hit by Ice Fissure, they can't really like roll away. You got Neuroplasticity, pretty good, so you can have 1 extra mantra slot. You got Saint J. If you want to be toxic, you can always just pick up Saint J and prevent your opponents from healing, with Ice Fissure especially. Lightspeed Reflexes, it's optional. I just went for Lightspeed Reflexes, invested like 20 intelligence, just because it helps me with fighting light weapons. One talent that is always going to be good on this build is Fear, because when you trap your opponents inside your Ice Eruption and they try to like get out, like try to climb high, you can always just, you know, try to smack them with your critical. So fear proc, and you know, if it procs, they'll be stunned for a short time, giving them a lower chance of escaping. For my summary, my current build, it doesn't have like that much HP. It has like okay HP, like average HP. It has a lot of ether because if you modify your shadow gun to the max and also your shadow vortex, it's gonna take up a lot of ether. I currently have a blue gem on this, and it takes around 30 to 40% of my ether. Shadow gun, yeah, it takes around 50% of my ether. So yeah, shadow gun takes around 50% of my ether. So you will definitely need a blue gem on that. Let me see. Ice Fissure, you don't really have to modify it. You can maybe put like a bunch of cloud stones on it to make it bigger, but it's just optional. Personally, I don't think I really need strength. Maybe spine cutter, but I don't think this build is really gonna be much M1 based. 40 fortitude, so I can pick up exoskeleton. 25 agility for evasive expert, and you know, the basic agility talents. 20 intelligence for lightspeed reflexes, 55 charisma for vision shaper and dazing finisher, 80 frost draw so I can upgrade my ice fissure to level 5, and 100 shadow cast so you can maximize your shadow gun damage, and also maybe some, you know, maximizing damage on your weapon. I want 6 vitality, just maxed out my HP. 4 erudition because I know that I'll need a lot of ether, and I know tempo is going to be really important for me. 2 song chant so you know I can add some extra damage to my shadow vortex and shadow gun combo. Yeah, most of my equipment is just a lot of HP. For the armor, it's really up to you what armor you want to go for, but in my opinion, I think it's better to go for Prophet's Cloak so you can, you know, add penetration to your shadow gun and shadow vortex combo. This build, it's not really hard to make because you don't really have to Shrine of Order for any specific talent. But if you want, you can try to remake this build and modify it and add some high investment talent to it. But it's really optional. This build didn't take me as long to progress. The only thing you really need is just, you know, a Hero Blade of Shadow and you're good to go. The only downside to this build is that you'll have to go to the Mystic very frequently so you can get these specific mantras. But that's about it.